Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday. I'm back. I'm back. It is Monday, and let's get going. It is a full moon tomorrow, the full moon in Taurus. So I pulled the Moonology cards because tomorrow we'll do the full moon in Taurus. Today we're going to just pull one randomly. And then Wednesday, which will be the end of the full moon cycle, we'll do the same. Welcome to today. Today is going to be card number 1 of getting into the vortex, or, for people who getting into yourself. And I don't mean getting into yourself in a narcissistic way. I mean getting into self, tapping into who you are and really kind of solidifying that self-love that we worked on for the last 30 lessons. So today will be number 1 of 60 of those lessons. Lesson number 1 of 60 in the getting into self cards. So let's pull a Moonology card since, like I said, tomorrow's a full moon. Oh, one just fell out, so let's go with that one. I love these just because they really kind of open up your mind. So nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. Now that could mean a lot of things, maybe you're sitting there going, oh, well, la la la. Or maybe you're overthinking something. A lot of times we tend to overthink. Like I said, I'm not used to these cards, so I don't exactly know where everything is. But, there we go. Nothing will come of this situation, so let's read on it. In a form of astrology known as horary, where an astrological chart is cast according to when the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or the situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news depending on what you are asking. For example, if you were worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign that there is nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you are currently creating, and you can change that with both your behavior and beliefs. Now, I think what they're saying there is, say you do want a new relationship, right? And you're like, well, great. That means I'm not going to get one. No, what it's saying is change your thinking. How are you thinking? Are you desperate for a new relationship? Or are you open to possibilities? Are you open to anything? Are you willing to do the hard work? Are you willing to really kind of solidify that self-love and get into yourself and really get to know yourself so that when you are in a good partnership, whether it's a relationship, a business partnership, work, friendship, whatever, that you're giving the best of you, not whatever's left of you. Okay, so attune to the moon. I trust in my highest good. Trust yourself. The chances of something are, additional meanings. The chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out, meditate, and contemplate. And the teaching. The main definition of a void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major connection with any of the planets until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get into this card is to chant the Sanskrit words Om Namo Narayani, which means I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is time to just be. So just take a deep breath, relax, and just let whatever's going to happen. Sometimes when we try too hard and we push too hard, we push things away, and that's not what you want to do. If you are a person who understands how the universe works, the law of attraction, then, whether you believe in it or not, it happens. Okay, it is an energy. The energy you put out there is the energy you are going to get back. So if you're putting out negative stuff, you are constantly going to get back negative. It may not feel like it. It may come in little tiny doses here, there, or wherever, until the point where you're so overwhelmed because you feel like you're carrying all these, think of each little thing as a stone on your shoulder, right? You're carrying all this stuff on your shoulders, and then all of a sudden you're so bogged down, you can't move. And that's kind of the same idea. So, that's every thought, every negative thought is a stone on your shoulder, on your head, on your body. And it's up to you to remove it. Every positive thought can remove that stone. I mean, granted, I'm not positive every day. I post a lot of positive shit. I do. But that doesn't mean that I'm positive every day. I just know that I need to do that to keep my head in a good place. And because I also know that if I'm feeling kind of crappy, there's probably someone out there who is also feeling the same way, or a couple of someone's, out there that might be feeling the same way. And so it's also to let people know they're not alone. That's why I share my story, to let people know they're not alone and to help them, work through their stories and to heal their own stories. And, the healing journey is a very rough journey, but it's so worth it in the end. The view from the top of the mountain is incredible. Okay, so let's see. This is the card. This is the deck. This is the new deck we're going to be working with for the next 60 lessons. I don't want to say 60 days because every Friday will still be Aloha Oracle Friday. So I'm going to continue with Aloha Oracle Friday. I will be doing these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday will still be Self-Care Wednesday, but we'll add the Vortex card to it. Now, I've done some reading on the Vortex cards, and basically getting into the Vortex means basically getting into yourself, into your Vortex. I read through some of these cards, not all of them. I actually saw the last two when I was pulling these for myself, not realizing these would be the next set of lessons. Because at the same time, I'm sitting there like, I really need something to go along with the self-love. And this will bring us into the new year, I believe. I'm not sure how far into the new year, but close enough, right? And I think what we need to remember is that all the self-love lessons we learn, lessons 1 through 30, especially the last 4 or 5 with the shadow work, with negative talk, with, how to change the negative talk into positive talk. I really truly believe this deck is going to help us kind of solidify this house of self-love that we built. We built the house, we set the foundations before we did the self-love lessons. Then we built the house over 30 lessons. Now we're going to be decorating on the inside, right? We're going to be, making it this warm, fuzzy, beautiful place that people will want to visit, that people will want to be a part of. A little fire pit outside where you can gather and have chit chats. So I really think this deck is going to help. This deck is about relationships. But just like, the self-love, the red one back over there, the little affirmators deck, the snarky ones, right? Those are about self-love as well, and relationships. But I believe the most important relationship we will ever have in our lives is the one that we have with ourselves. And it's very, very important for us to have self-love. There, if you talk about it to someone, they'll probably sit there and go, oh, well, that's kind of a narcissistic. No, it is not a narcissistic pattern. Self-love is a chosen trait. Okay, I looked up the definition when we did the first 30 lessons of self-love. Self-love is a chosen trait, not a narcissistic trait. I know a lot of people won't be able to tell the difference, and those are the people that perhaps, they're so lost in themselves they can't see the difference. Maybe they've been hurt by a narcissist. Maybe they've been hurt by somebody who threw them under the bus. So it's hard to separate the self-love or their love of self. See, their love of self to me is very different than self-love. Self-love is building yourself up, knowing that you deserve wonderful things, knowing you deserve wonderful people in your life, in whatever, in wherever they fit in, whether it's romantic, non-romantic, family, friends, all those things, work. So this is about really kind of setting these things in stone. All right, so let's get to it. Card number 1. My life is about my relationships. My life is about my relationships. I like this. It's kind of like, it's a blank canvas, right? Everybody in there is a blank canvas, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek to the next card. That's the next card, and all of a sudden it's growing, right? And you have the little spiral, the life spiral. It's in the Maori and Polynesian tradition, it's called the koru, and so it's like a fern unfurling, right? Like this continuous spiral of life. But I like how everything in here is blank, but if you notice, in every single face that does not have a face, the star is their eye. The star looks like their eye. So you can have stars in your eyes. All right. You will never find yourself in a point in time when the subject of relationships is not an active part of your now experience. For everything you perceive or notice or know is because of your relationship with something else. Without a comparative experience, you would be unable to perceive or focus any kind of understanding within yourself. Therefore, it is accurate to say that without relationships, you could not exist at all. I know there are solitary people in life, but even those people who don't, like maybe a hermit, right? It's like even those people have had relationships at some point in their life. They had parents. I mean, unless you are literally a child who raised themselves from the womb, you know, you are going to experience at least one relationship, one good relationship in your life, right? And it could be a parent, it could be a friend, but you're always going to have that people access. You're always going to have that interaction with someone else. And, you know, so I see where this is coming from. So again, you will never find yourself in a point in time when the subject of relationships is not an active part of your now experience, for everything you perceive or notice or know is because of your relationship with something else. Without a comparative experience, you would be unable to perceive or focus any kind of understanding within yourself. Therefore, it is accurate to say that without relationships, you could not exist at all. Again, you know, upbringing. You have a relationship with your parents. Siblings, if you have any, friends growing up at school, you know, even if it's just one friend. But again, the most important relationship you will have, even if you live a solitary experience, is the one with yourself. And it is, you know, it's accurate to say without relationships, you could not exist at all. Well, how is your relationship with yourself? Is it good? Is it strong? Does it need work? Are you constantly berating yourself? Are you constantly mean to yourself? Do you say nasty things to yourself? You know, one of my favorite sayings that I love, love, love to say all the time is, what you speak is what you hear. It's what your brain processes, and it's what your eyes, it's what you end up seeing. It's what you perceive. So the more negative you speak to yourself, the more you're really kind of throwing yourself under the bus and you're piling those stones on you, and you're making it harder and harder to move. You know, it's like walking up a hill carrying a sack of 1,000 little tiny pebbles. You know, I mean, maybe some people can do it, but it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, but maybe one day you're like, okay, I still have these problems, but I'm going to get a cart and maybe pull it up that way. And then, you know, you're like, well, it's still heavy, but at least I have wheels, right? And you can stop, put it down. But as you progress on self-love, you'll say, maybe I can get an animal to help me pull these up the hill now. And then you lead the animal. And yeah, sometimes the animal will be stubborn, just like the relationship with ourself can be stubborn. But as you go on this healing journey, as you really kind of dig deep into the self-love, and you really kind of solidify these foundations and realize that relationships in your life are important, you know, and how we maintain them and how we nurture them are important, then getting that, you know, sack of 1,000 pebbles up the hill will get easier and easier. You will start thinking of ways, like I said, you go from carrying it to getting a cart that you can pull, to getting a cart, you know, to getting an animal to pull this cart, to, you know, maybe you train this animal so well that you don't even have to pull it by the string, you know, by the rope, right? It just knows where to go. It goes right up the hill. And you just sit there and you look and you're all, I did that. I believed in it and I did that. So have some faith in yourself, okay? I know this is a long journey. Like I said, you know, the week before last, we finished the 30 lessons of self-love. And, you know, that was kind of up and down. You know I had my moments where it's just like, holy crap, you know, and it kind of left me emotionally exhausted last week. You know, I only did a couple of shows last week because I was just like, I was processing so much that I wanted to make sure that when I went into these, that my head was in a good place. I had to fix the relationship with myself because I had to realize that a lot of the things I was learning, I wasn't doing for myself. I wasn't being kind enough to myself. And I really kind of was throwing myself under the bus a lot. And, you know, again, your relationship with yourself is going to be the most important relationship you ever have in your life. You know, one of my favorite sayings is from RuPaul. You know, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? You know, and so maybe that's just it. We have to love ourselves. We have to, the more we learn to love ourselves, the less we take things, you know, personally. Doesn't mean we don't take things personally, okay? I'm not saying that, you know, self-love is this magical cure-all and you're never going to have a problem again in your life. What I am saying is that when you have self-love, you regroup a little faster. You realize, okay, this too shall pass. I can get through this. Because you recognize your strength. You recognize at the core who you are and that you've been through a lot of crappy things in your life. You know, whether you've had trauma or not. You know, everybody goes through crappy shit in their life. You know, nobody gets to escape that. I don't care how much money in the world you have, nobody gets to escape the crappy stuff. But how we deal with it is really the big story here. That's the big picture, is how we deal with it, how we regroup. You know, sometimes we might need a day or two. You know, if you have a dinged up mental health like me, sometimes it takes more than a day or two. But I know, I try to recognize that if I'm at day 2 and I'm still not better because of my mental health, that I really need to dig in and stop that so it doesn't become a spiral. Sometimes the spirals just happen and I don't realize it till I'm in it. But that's life. And that's something I have to deal with. And because I've worked on that and because I stopped shaming myself about that, I have been able to kind of find my footing a little bit better. And that doesn't mean it always ends up well. I mean, come on, everybody's different. We all handle things different. We all have our own journeys. But these cards, like the lessons, the 30 lessons that we had of self-love, are meant to give you a little bit more, you know, be a little more introspective. See inside of you a little bit more. See how your relationship with yourself can actually affect your relationship with other people. So, you know, again, my life is about relationships. Our life is about relationships. You don't get into this world and out of this world with at least having a handful of them. Even if you want to think, well, I live a solitary life. But if you stop and think about it, if you're watching this and you're a hermit and, you know, maybe your only connection to the world is videos and stuff, this is still a relationship. You know, because you're focusing on something. You're waiting for something. And maybe that's what fills you up, because that's your relationship with yourself. So just some things to think on, okay? Tomorrow should be a good day. Tomorrow I will have the full moon in Taurus card. I know some people just kind of, I lose people with the Oracle decks. I do. But, you know, Oracle decks have good messages. Sometimes, you know, I mean, for me, I do have higher powers. I do believe in God and other things. But I will tell you, I think sometimes that's the only way they can talk to me, because I don't always listen. I know, I don't always listen. I'm just kind of stubborn that way. It's how I'm built. But we can do this. I know we can do this. And it will be an exciting, exciting adventure. Okay, I promise you. So hope you hang in there with me. Tomorrow we'll have card number 2. And these are in order. You know, I spent the time and put these all back in order. So 1 through 60 are actually numbered cards. So tomorrow will be number 2. And, all right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know we changed our time. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. It's public. Anybody can watch. We do not need to be Facebook friends. You can find it under Shelly Marie Lucas. Shelly Marie is one word, okay? Like I always tell people, get it right or my mother will haunt you. So she's very, very, very much a stickler about my name. Or I do upload them to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. I also share it to Twitter. I do short TikToks of these things. And I do share these to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective, if you do miss a live. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. It's Monday. Go out there, you know, knock this week out of the park. Don't look at it as Monday. Look at it as like, oh, hey, it's Monday. It's Monday. It's the start of a new week and a new chapter and a new start. Okay. Mondays are fresh starts. All right. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow.